Hi friends, welcome to the last casual unedited garden stroll of 2025, only by virtue of the fact that it's the end of the year. Before we head outside, which we have to kind of rush and do because there's a bit of weather coming and we're gonna miss our window here. It's gonna start raining very hard very soon. I wanted to show you this is, for me, this is kind of a gadgety thing that I just got. It's this set of soil sieves. It's meant for bonsai. The bottom is closed and you scoop the soil up and then the sieve is right here. The sieve is quite fine. So what I was going to use this for may not work as well as I thought it would because I don't do bonsai. My thought with this was that I always like to use sieved soil over the top of my seeds. So I will use, like when I make a tray of seeds, I will use my big sieves. They're probably what, 16 inches across or something, like big round ones. But that makes quite a mess, as you might imagine, because that's bigger than the size of the seed tray, or especially if I'm just doing individual pots. So I thought this might work. We're gonna try it. I got them on Amazon. They're not really, there's nothing super hardy about this at all. It's interesting. I think they all have the same, they're just different sizes. They all have the same sieve diameter. So anyway, thought I'd show you that. I bought that for myself. No one bought that for me. I don't think I got any gardening related presents this year at all, which is fine. I have the stuff I need. All right, let's go outside and take a look at what's happening out there. It's quite a foggy day out here. I did want to say that I did get Christmas and holiday cards from several. I had to turn my jacket on because I live for heated clothing now. I keep joking that excuse me, sir, that I'm gonna like ignite in some sort of lithium-ion battery fire. Here's these two. I did get Christmas and holiday cards from several of you, so thank you so much. Was so nice of you to think of me. Appreciate that. It is a foggy day. We are about to get a lot of rain for most of the afternoon, followed by, I have the dryer on, so I don't know if you can see the dryer smoke here. Steam. And then we're gonna switch to like 3 inches of snow on top of it, which means we're gonna have that like ice under snow thing, which is just super treacherous, but whatever. So we've experienced quite a range of winter weather here already this year. We've had a good amount of snow, we've had ice, we've had very cold temperatures, sub-zero. We had a week of temps that never got above 10 degrees, I think, or 12 degrees. So we've really had quite a winter of weather already. So I thought this is a really good time to take a look at what's still looking good after things have been pummeled by snow. And we've really gone through a lot as far as that goes. So first of all, I always like to talk about Amsonia hubrectii, which is still a beautiful golden color. And thank goodness for that color in this garden here because we got a lot of brown. By the way, I used Port Oxford cedar in some of my containers for the first time. Well, the other side, that's the bottom of it. The top side is better color, but I did not expect that to go bronze so quickly. Although I don't think it's unattractive. Up here in the window box, I actually think it's kind of pretty. So it was just something I wasn't expecting. The Agastache is Blue Fortune is still looking really good. I did cut some of it to bring it in for some wreaths and things like that. Specifically, I wanted to take a look at some of the ornamental grasses to see what those are looking like, because ornamental grasses, it is starting to rain already, you guys. Ornamental grasses can, get kind of bad, and we'll see good ones and bad ones here. So all through here, this is all various types of Hackmanacloa Japanese forest grass. So over there and back there, that's all gold, and in the distance, that's all gold. This is primarily Aureola, or some of it has reverted or reseeded. I think it's reverted to just plain Hackmanacloa macra. Some people say hakanakloa. Say whatever you want. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this stuff. And this is all this gigantic hakanakloa macra that I grow. It is not, I don't think it's supposed to get this big, but it gets, it's huge. I mean, let's go see. I'm going to see if I can do this without fully getting my address sign in here. Where is it on me? Well, I mean, it's kind of bent over. Oh, I'll need to turn the camera around for that. All right, so it's like chest height on me. And it pops right back up after it gets pounded down. It's as far as winter interest for an ornamental grass goes, this is about as good as it gets, I think. This is Cecularia. I really love Cecularia. I think it's such a good grass. Also, I think looking quite good, standing up. Actually, still a little bit of green in there, which is interesting. Then we move on to this guy, and this is just a mess. This is Millennia Transparent. Let me walk around down the path so you can kind of see just how floppy it is. Actually, it's quite mild out here right now, which I suppose makes sense. Okay, here's a good there's a bulb pack. Look, we already have a little bit of frost heave on this heucherella right here. Not unexpected, that's just what heucheras and heucherellas just do that. Yeah, so you can see that this transparent Millennia is just, half of it has just fully flopped. A little bit is still standing up, but you know, it doesn't pop back up again after, this one's not so bad actually, but it doesn't pop back up again after it gets pounded down. This is the blue through here, and I have some more of it over there. This is all Carrick's Flocka Blue Zinger. Can be a little bit aggressive or invasive in some areas, so just plant with caution depending on where you are. Still looking really good color on that. Carrick's Plantaginia, seersucker sedge, looking pretty good. Through here is all Carrick's Pennsylvanica. Nondescript, I would say. Although I believe this is also, that can't be Carrick's Pennsylvanica too, can it? I don't think it is. I think that might be, did I stick Montana there? Oh my gosh, losing the brain. Anyway, that's not so bad. This is prairie drop seed over here. Is it? It is not, because that's prairie drop seed right there. Oh my gosh, boy, you know, the brain does take a rest in winter. What is looking absolutely wretched over here is, check out the irises. Just a mat of, and this is Purple Flame iris versicolor. And look at how it's just flattened against the bank here. It probably provides a little bit of erosion control, to be honest, along this bank. So maybe it's not bad in that regard, but it's not attractive, that's for sure. I think that, I mean, obviously the bar for winter interest is much lower than summer interest, of course. I think that this Montrose White Calamintha actually still looks pretty nice. I think Nepeta subsessilis is a bit depressing looking. Darwin, come on. We've talked about this part of the garden as far as winter. I should try to walk a little slower so we don't bounce around so much. As far as winter interest goes. And so we've kind of gone over that. As we come over here, this is also a Millennia over here. I think this is Paul Peterson. Really beautiful color coming through right now. And still standing up pretty good. Not bad at all there. Assuming your dog doesn't just go mowing on it. Boy, we have a lot of branches falling down. I certainly hope, I worry about this. As you know, we've lost, 2023, 22? We lost my favorite beech tree. And this one I fear is also not in the best of shape. you know, we've tried to have an arborist out here to advise us on our trees a little bit. Remarkably difficult to get an arborist to come to your house just to sort of talk through your trees with you. Twice I've been on people's schedules and then they just disappear on me. So don't know what that's. So if you're an arborist in my area and you want to come advise me on trees, because I'd love their opinion. I mean, I have a rough idea, but I'd love their opinion of like, is there something I should be doing? Is a tree a lost cause and I need to be starting to come up with a plan? Speaking of trees that are lost causes, this tree right here, this one right here, which is this funky, it never grew right. It's growing into that spruce. That one is going to come down. It should have come down a long time ago. I've been wanting to take it down when it was small and easy. It's still small and easy, by the way. It's an easy drop. But that's just interfering with the spruce. It's not a healthy tree, and I don't know what it is. My tree ID needs work, and I don't know what it is. I think I knew at one point. I did look it up, and I've forgotten since then. Anyway, it is not a tree of much consequence. So that little tree is going to come down. At the same time, we could do it ourselves, but we might, if we bring in a tree person, who, by the way, is great at removing trees. I don't think that he's not an arborist. He's just really good at tree removal. If we bring him in for something else, we'll have him do that one at the same time, probably. This is a carex right here that looks wretched. I forget which one this is. Devalsa, maybe? Is that one? Anyway, I'm going to say winter interest is a 0 on that one. And that's over here. We don't have a lot of other ornamental grasses. Just more Hacklencloa, basically, around here. Well, this is little Carex Everest, which is actually looking pretty good. I see it's been nibbled a bit, not too bad. They clearly don't love it. That's not so bad. In terms of things that were successful this year, I think I'm going to have to be willing to be open to rethinking what we planted underneath this Heptacodium Seven Suns flower tree here. I had always had these hostas around it when the serviceberry was here, and there was a lot more shade at that point because right about here we had a huge spruce that cast a lot of shade on this area. So when that spruce came down, it was still kind of shaded because there is a lot of trees. We've got big arborvitae over here. We've got, there's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of deciduous trees in the neighbor's yard that block. This is sort of facing southeast right now. Or maybe south, because we're a little offset from true north and south here. So there's a lot, it's not full sun here for sure. But I will say that things didn't get very well established here. So I'm just gonna have to be open to changing up what's planted underneath this Heptacodium. Whatever goes there, if it has to change, will be quite simple. I'm not gonna futz it up with a lot. Just something simple with a little bit of texture contrast. Here's the Heptacodium. I think the bark is really beautiful. And I've talked about this before, but we will start kind of taking this down to fewer stems. I think I just didn't want to do a lot of that when it was planted. I just wanted to get established. I do think probably these ones that are sticking out quite a bit farther, we'll probably take those off. So probably these two and this one and that side branch, and that might be what we take off for this year. And eventually we'll get that down to probably, as this tree goes, we'll just see how it goes. I might get that down to say 5 stems or so, but it'll all depend on the shape. I don't care about the number of stems. That's not what I'm concerned about. I just want the shape to look right. Here's Euphorbia ascot rainbow. happy to say it still looks like it's alive. We'll see if it makes it through. Some years it's sort of questionably hardy here. So some years it makes it through and some years it doesn't. Here's the smoke bush, which put on all kinds of new growth last year because I basically coppiced it. Or maybe technically this is pollarding because you can see where I cut it to here. I was pretty happy with how it looked this year. Actually, it was certainly an improvement over what it had been doing. And I don't really care for the flowers on smoke bush, so when I prune it, and I might be potentially cutting off flowers, it doesn't bother me. I think that's pretty much, oh, we did plant, let's just take a look. I did plant some new ornamental grasses, well, sedges technically, over here to start creating a ground cover on this side of the garden. This is Carex albicans and Carex montana. Albicans? I think it's albicans. These are all looking really good. Still nice and green, mostly evergreen at this point. I think those are actually looking really good. These skylight boxwoods grew a ton. Boy, I have to tell you, in a place where I feel like boxwoods don't grow very quickly, these skylights have been a great addition. And while I'm not going to prune these tightly, I can see like this one's got some wild hair, so he's going to need just a little bit of training. And then this is the winter color on the Russian cypress, Microbiota decussata. I think this is beautiful. Some people would prefer an evergreen that stayed quite bright green. I happen to think this sort of rusty, I don't know what you would call this, kind of a gray rusty color. Boy, that doesn't sound appealing, does it? But I do think it's beautiful. And in fact, there's a bigger one over here that we can take a look at. And this this is an older one that will give you maybe a better indication of what it might look like. I think it's quite beautiful texture. Granted, holy smokes, are there a lot of leaves. This Norway maple here that is on the neighbor's. That's the neighbor's yard that we're like right in front of that is our property line. So that's the neighbor's tree. Boy, that thing dumped its leaves all at once when everything else was done and it was snowing. So makes quite a mess in the yard. Well, I'm looking for some favorable lighting for my face here. There is none today. So this is the face of a person who's been living on too much sugar, too many Christmas cookies. Boy, this time of year, I tell you what, I find it to be very hard. I just feel tired all the time because you're not really on like a schedule. By the way, what am I doing complaining? Should not be complaining about that. It's nice to have a little break too. Also, a really good time for me to recharge my brain. Working on some end of the year stuff here, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is I need to order some seeds. I've not done any seed ordering yet, and this year I'm going through my stash, and I felt like last year perhaps my seeds might be getting a little old, and even though seeds last for a really long time, there's no doubt that new seeds grow better than old seeds. In almost every case. So I feel like last year I was struggling with just issues that I had not experienced before in growing some things from seed. So my goal this year is I'm going to go through everything really carefully, and we're going to get rid of things that are older than, I don't know what age. It depends on the seed. And replace those things. I'm going to order with intention. I'm going to try really hard not to just order a bunch of random things to try. And I'm going to try this year this is as close as I'll ever get to a New Year's resolution, but I'm going to try really hard to grow fewer things very well, rather than spread myself so thin that I can't properly take care of the seedlings that I'm growing. We'll see if that happens. You know, I get out there into the seed catalogs and I get so excited about all these cool things, and then I just start growing them, and that's how I get myself into trouble. So there's that. All right, well, listen, I hope you guys are all having a nice little holiday break here, for whatever break you're able to get. And I hope you are, recharging your gardening batteries a little bit like I am. I am thankful for this time of year because I just like mentally and physically need a little bit of a break from the garden. So it's a welcome forced break for sure for me. All right, you guys have a great day in your garden. Since this is the not the last video of the year, with any hope, but the last casual garden stroll of the year. Thanks for coming along. I think, did I do one? I have to take a look, but I'm pretty sure I did one, certainly starting in spring, pretty much once a week this year. And you guys seem to like them. So thanks for coming along and watching these weird babbling videos that where I just kind of talk a lot. So I appreciate that. I hope you guys are having a great day in your garden. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.